Are we going to address Joe Osgood's concern? It's going to come here every meeting, so I just want to make sure that we address that and get that out of the way. I'm not saying I don't want him to keep coming, but
Address what specifically?
Topstone.
is it what is it exactly you want us to address, Mr. Osgood? I don't know if it was like governing body or.
Joe Osgood, Ward 1. Quite frankly, I don't believe you people clearly understand where you stand on this, and I think a discussion should be made. You should come up and it should be discussed. You should determine where you stand. You should have a vote on it, and then I have something to tell the people, because personally, you have not approved the deal, because it wasn't truly an abatement, it was a deal. You have not approved the deal. So technically speaking, according to the guidelines of the BTLA, this is not a done deal, because until the governing body of the community approves it, it's not a done deal. So approve it, fine. The $200,000 is gone. Don't approve it, send it back and tell them to fix it.
So what I would recommend, since we have an interim city manager, is Mr. McLean, perhaps it would be so that you have all of the information. The best representation of that is the meeting that we had September 19th. September 19th. That meeting was recorded. It would be good for you to view that meeting. It's online. The issue that Mr. Osgood is talking about, I believe, is that according to the statute, the governing body has the authority to approve the abatement with regard to brownfields. And what occurred was the assessor looked at the application, which requested a review of the assessed value. The assessed value was lowered, and then back taxes were completely waived for a number of years. And that was done without the council's knowledge. And then we had a special meeting so that people could ask questions. So rather than us go through all of that, that is the issue. I think that's the fundamental issue is what was the role of the city council in this? Did it have a role? There was concern about what the definition of a governing body is. And to be quite honest, I have always considered the definition of governing body to be the city council, but legal counsel advised us differently. But rather than me trying to rehash it secondhand, it's best if you just view it. Is that fair from the council? Is that what you would like the city manager to do?
That's the best approach.
Councilor Kowalski.
Did the council get a letter from the state on September 25th?
From the BTLA?
BTLA saying that they've reviewed all the documentation that Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Osgood presented, reviewed it, and the case is closed.
I will forward that to you as well. Thank you for the reminder. I will forward it to you as well, and you can make your own assessment.
If I could have a half an hour of your time at some point, I have the BTLA case. I have the guidelines that the BTLA sent and the city manager signed that says the deal is not done until the governing body approves it. And I would just like to sit down and present my case because I am thoroughly convinced that there is no way the state of New Hampshire allows a $222,000 tax forgiveness to be given to a LLC without somebody that is an elected official knowing about it or approving it. And that was my argument the night of the meeting. It will be in there. My problem with the meeting is there's some stuff in the meeting that has never come forward. And it came forward after the meeting, but it wasn't recorded. I would very much like to take the time to at least give you the public's side of the story, because I'm not the only person. I'm the only one that stands up here. But now I'm even talking to attorneys that live in town, and they agree that something is not right here. I would just love to have the time. You name it, I'll make it. And I'll,
Mr. McLean?
Thank you, sir. Of course, I'm always willing to speak to any person on any subject on behalf of the city council and the mayor. However, if I understand this correctly, this issue has been discussed, and there has been opinions from rendered. So I don't know that you're sending me off to research and investigate what's already been done. Perhaps you're asking me about process?
I think it would be helpful for you as a city manager with almost 50 years of experience just to view the tape and because we're still confused, the council's still confused on what the definition of governing body. And if there's a better way to determine that, I'm all ears, but it's very difficult for myself personally to know what our authority and responsibility is if we don't even have a clear understanding of what we are as defined by statute.
Okay, thank you very much.
RSA
Thank you, sir.
49,
Yes, sir.
RSA 49 indicates, it's a New Hampshire state law, that the city council in a city is the governing body.
Thank you,
Bottom
sir.
line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Pope?
So I just pulled up that letter, and it does say that this has been case settled, settlement agreement on file with board, no cost. Are you asking we reopen this, or?
I'm going to try to, I have it on my phone.
I can send it to you.
No, I don't need that one. I need the one that says that the city manager himself signed, and what it says, and it's the guidelines. Yes, they are done with it. That I don't disagree with the fact that they have done their job. This was not an abatement, it was a deal. There's 3 ways to get done. You go to Superior Court, you go to the BTLA and you have a hearing, or the BTLA throws it back at you and the landowner make a deal. The problem that I have...
Just a point of, not to interrupt, just a point of order. If we're going to discuss this tonight, again, as always, I don't think I should be seated here to discuss this matter. I will go sit down there gladly if this is now an agenda item.
We're just trying to give guidance to the city manager as he requested.
So I'd like
So
to
if you
speak
want-
after as a citizen then.
Oh, boy.
Okay, the document, and I have a copy of it, that was signed by the city manager, and it was signed by the owner of Topstone Furniture. And the guidelines in the end is the individuals involved in the settlement meeting should have the authority to discuss and settle the case. The board, BTLA board, recognizes the selectmen or the governing body of the municipality have the final approval of any settlement offer made to the taxpayer which could potentially delay the filing or the settlement agreement. So the governing body, after this is done, the BTLA is done with it. They said you either have a hearing or you make a deal. And unfortunately, this was a rosy deal for the taxpayer. And as a taxpayer and a citizen of the city of Claremont and many other people with me, we don't think it was a fair deal
Mr.
to the
Osgood?
city.
Mr. Osgood, a lot of that can be said if you
Okay.
set up an appointment
All right.
with the city manager.
I will get you a copy of this.
We're still
document.
trying to deal with future agenda items and directives.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to be very careful what the expectations might be for the city manager's involvement, that's all. But I will listen to the gentleman's comments offline from here, and I'm not sure exactly what you want me to do. I'll take that 50-year comment as a compliment.
Nearly 50 years,
Go
it's
from
true.
there. Thank you.
Yes. To be able to move forward with clarity, we just need resolution on governing body.
I understand that.
That's important.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, Councilor Kowalski.
So, Nick Kolosky, Ward 3. I agree there needs to be some sort of resolution to address Mr. Osgood's concern, because frankly, every meeting, hearing it, and there's no response either way. So I agree, he deserves an answer. My concern is the rate that we're paying a temporary city manager, and now having him chase down something that I think that the council has received in email or correspondence from legal counsel already. Maybe I'm mistaken, but the city has a lot going on. I, again, don't agree with what occurred at the Topstone building, but I wasn't seated there to make a decision in either direction. But I will tell you, it'd be nice to put this to bed, but at what expense? So, thank you.
So,
Okay.
after hearing all of that, what is the guidance of the council to the city manager? Anything beyond what I've said, or?
Nothing beyond what you've said.
Move on.
Okay. All right, would you like to come back? Sure. Any other future agenda items and directives?